Today's episode is brought to you by Gustafson and Sons Towing, located at 29 Davis Road in Milanville, Pennsylvania. Gustafson and Sons Towing can handle a variety of services that you may need. Aside from 24-hour towing, they also handle winch outs, long hauls, shed moving, small or medium storage container moving, lockouts, jump starts, emergency roadside fuel delivery, and roadside emergency tire repairs. Got a junk car that you want removed? He'll buy that too and get it off your property. Go ahead and check him out over on Facebook at Gustafson and Sons Towing, on TikTok at Gustafson Sons Towing, or give him a call at 570-280-5890. If your car needs a ride but your wallet doesn't, call Gustafson and Sons Towing, 570-280-5890.
All right, y'all, it's the Nonsense and Deep Thoughts Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of the NDT Podcast. Aaron, I always get a little, what's going on when I see that face that you made right at the beginning there, that questioning face. But I know what you're doing now, so it's okay. But anyway, we had a good weekend, didn't we?
We had a fun weekend, dude. It was an awesome weekend.
It was. Hello, my
bitches.
bitches. Alex hops in right away. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I absolutely love you. Thank you for joining. You're the best. My number one cheerleader. No, or maybe Lena's my number one cheerleader. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say Lena's number one for sure.
Number two. But anyway, yesterday was a lot of fun, man. We finally got to get the game in for the NDT day at the ballpark. That was fantastic. We did happen to bring the rain with us anyway, though.
Yeah.
Ended up getting rained out.
We got everything in we wanted to do, though. Got to spend the day with some people.
Yeah, so if anybody missed it, one, we got these amazing cowboy hats from the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. I was going to wear it on stream tonight, but I could not really, wear it with the headset. It really wouldn't have worked.
Doesn't fit. I tried.
It's fantastic. It's awesome. I love it. My son looks like a real cowboy in it. Pretty cool. Our contest winner, our giveaway winner, did a fantastic job throwing out the first pitch. That was really cool to see. She was so nervous. It was so funny, man. She's out on the mound, and the girl with the mic asks her how she's feeling, and she's like, "I'm nervous.
Yes.
I'm nervous." Like, oh yeah. But you know what, man? She fired one off, got it right to the catcher. Didn't bounce, didn't overthrow. She was perfect.
I was so proud of her too, because I'm standing there. I don't know how far away you were from us, but I said to her mom, I said, she's going to bounce it. Just prepare yourself. And she goes, really? I said, I think so. And then she throws a strike. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was perfect,
proud of her,
man.
It was great.
And I was confident in you going up there to sing, but man, I'm wondering if you were confident in yourself at first. How'd you feel? You looked really.
It was awkward because I think I've been telling you this. I was preparing to look at the flag like you're supposed to. And in just my head, I should have been staring at the flag and singing. I was my blood pressure was up a little bit. I was aggravated, and I probably shouldn't have been. It was something so minuscule, but I just felt like I was disrespecting the flag. But I didn't have a lot of time to mentally prepare myself for that environment. Being down there, it was so chaotic. But probably, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds in, I just said, screw it, and went. And I was okay after the first couple of lines, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I watched the video back a few times. I didn't sound as bad as I thought. I was really worried. Bad job. So that was my concern.
No, at like the second or third line, I started to sing along like really low, just in case he got nervous. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I'm recording this so people
Yeah.
can see him singing.
We heard you.
Oops.
I
Hey,
couldn't.
fuck
I
you,
couldn't
Corey.
hear you.
Yeah. Oops.
I couldn't hear you because you were far enough away.
Good.
But the way the sound was resonating through with the microphone, it was kind of messing me up a little bit. I wasn't really thinking that was going to go down. But like I said, about third or fourth line in, I said, that's all right. I'm here. I'm doing this. I might as well just have fun with it. Stop being nervous about it. And I was okay.
Yeah, man.
But
And
I
when
wouldn't do it again, I'll do it again.
and when they brought out the American flag for you to look at, I was like, this
Yeah.
is perfect. That's
Yep.
awesome.
That was my focal
like-
point. But I still could not ignore the 10 or 20 people that were standing there with their phones on me. That to me is like, oh, why? Don't do this.
They had there were people in the stands that were recording it too.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, really?
And and it was nice.
famous, bro.
Yeah, no, let's not carry away. It was cool. Like, it was nice to see the people. I was walking up, hey, you did a good job. You did a good job.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh, you're being polite. Thank you. Thank you so much. But,
I was
after I
just
get
down-
a chance to watch it, it was okay.
I was just down there with my phone out recording you for this, and I got to the top of the steps and got a high five. I was like, man, what is this, a wrestling entrance?
That's awesome. You're my
Oh,
manager.
yeah. Let's go, baby. Yeah, so we had the game. It was a good time, man. It was hot in the beginning. I didn't think that we were going to last all that long because when I got back over to my wife and kids after you sang the anthem, my little one, she just looked like she was not having it. Like, she looked so hot. I'm like, oh, we are not going to make it.
Yeah,
So, they hung out up in the shade up there, didn't even sit in their seats. And man, when that cloud came through as it was preparing to rain, sweet relief, baby. Sweet
I don't
relief.
I don't think any of us sat in our seats where we were supposed to at all yesterday. We were just
Nope.
all over.
Nope. And there were people that ended up sitting down there like they were waiting to go out on the field for a little game in between innings or something. And
Yeah.
Lena's like, oh, there's people sitting in our seats. I'm like, honey, we're up here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, we're not sitting down there.
We had a whole section.
So then, we left the game and we all ended up congregating as an entire unit down at Aaron's house for WWE SummerSlam 2024. It was a fantastic event. I thought we will get more into that on Wednesday on the wrestling show, Squared Circle Sessions. We will let Aaron and Justin break that down for you guys. But it was a good time. I mean, getting to hang out with Jared coming up here for the weekend, that was cool. So getting to hang out with everybody and just enjoy some wrestling together, enjoy
It
some
was the
road
first
time.
time we all actually got to hang out and spend more than a couple hours together. It was kind of fun.
Yeah,
I was a little nervous. Not everybody was going to fit in my living room, but it worked out great.
Yeah.
So,
all right. And then today I didn't do a whole lot of much, didn't do anything. And now we get to round out the weekend by welcoming on a very special guest who has been with us a couple times before. Now, he's met Justin, he's met Jared. He has not yet met you until pre-show. And, we didn't really do proper introductions then, but this will be your first time meeting him. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to have this conversation. He's a very well-spoken man, very intelligent, very fun, very good dude. So without further ado, let's welcome Derek Ausseresses to the show.
Welcome back, Derek Ausseresses, a podcast awaits. A brilliant mind, words flow like an open gate. Intellectual debates, topics that captivate. We've missed your insights, it's never too late. A voice of reason, a beacon in the night. Derek, welcome home to the podcast zone. Your wisdom shines bright like a cornerstone. Let's dive deep into discussions unknown. Together we'll explore ideas overthrown.
What is going on, Derek?
AI playing?
Jared is having too much fun with these songs.
Yeah, that's
They come out awesome.
they kind of. I'm a little mad at I guess Meta. I don't know who you guys do it through, but they messed up my last name a little bit.
Yes,
you
they did.
didn't, Corey. You didn't, which was nice, but it did okay. All things considered.
Yeah, man,
So-
it's nice to have you back on the show. And now for a formal introduction, this is our other guy, Aaron.
Yeah.
This is other guy.
I realized as you said it, I was like, yeah, we were actually backstage, and
Yep.
We never
I
said
didn't
a
even
word.
say hi. I was like, huh,
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
this not Justin fella over?
Yes, this is not Justin.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm a little
It-
uglier.
it's great though. I
Stop.
mean, the first time you were on, you got to chat with Justin and me, and the second
Yeah.
time you were on, it was without Justin, and it was the
Yep.
first time you got to meet Jared, which was awesome. And now you get to meet another member of the show. So
Right.
I'm excited for it, man.
So
Uh,
is this my third time?
Yeah, it's your third time on the show.
Has anybody outpaced me?
Nope. No,
Okay.
we've had some return customers, but this is
No.
the first third.
First trifecta. Okay, I'll take it. I'll
First
absolutely take it, especially with that playing. That was when it said my name, I was like, whoa, that's that was a trip. I appreciate it.
Whoops. Yeah, whoops.
And then I see all
So
the are these all people that donate to support the show to the side here?
Our
Yep,
sponsors.
the people that you see on the screen with you right now, they are sponsors of the show. For anybody interested or looking, you can head over to ndtpodcast.com/sponsors. You can check out all of our current sponsors. We have direct links right to their pages, and you can look at the packages to become a sponsor yourself. Sponsor packages range from $10 to $75 a month. It's really, really nice offer. And at the top tiers, you get a really cool commercial made for you.
That's man. So just quick kudos to everybody, both on screen and behind the scene. It's from where it started to where it is. I mean, graphics, everything. It's cool to have this be my third time and see you guys making such growth every time. It's awesome to see, man. Can't imagine more well-deserving people. So that's
Brother,
awesome.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's fun because like I will go back from time to time and I'll rewatch the very first video episode that we did. If I recall correctly, you were our second video episode ever.
I think so. Yeah.
You were the second one. And then I'll even go back and listen to our early audio days when me and Justin were just sitting in this room with a laptop and nothing else.
Yeah. Well, even
Beautiful.
seeing Justin's I remember it was like a dimly lit room and like a potato
Dungeon.
quality camera. And he was like using his game headset or whatever for the mic. And now he's got a mic and lights and stuff. Yeah. It's just cool. It's cool. And then on top of that, getting sponsored deals. And I'm assuming these are all local to you guys there.
Most of them here are local sponsors. We do have the Trendy Forbes out of Florida. It is
That's so cool.
Yep.
So supporting local and then supporting up and comers like you get, you gotta love it, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, we really we're trying to take strides to be out in our own community a little bit more and to help out with different community events and get our faces out there and try to pull people in from the community to talk about their small business, about their ventures, their stories, stuff like that. So we're trying our best, man.
Your wifey says they've definitely come a long way. I agree.
Mm.
Then you got guys singing the national anthem. You're going to wrestling matches, and man, I watch.
We're just having some fun, dude.
I love it. I love it, man.
Yeah,
That's to me. That's the fuel that because this stuff can be a slow burn. You know, it's a very competitive marketplace. So if you can add the component or the element of fun, just keeps you burning, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's important, man. If we stopped having fun, none of this would be worth it. So
yeah.
You know, we branched off. We've got the variety show, but we have other interests, right? And we don't really want to flood this show with all of our other topics that, let's face it, not everybody's a professional wrestling fan and not everybody's a fan of video games. So we broke off and did two separate shows for that. We did sports for a little bit. Never know what's going to happen with that. That option is always out there as well. But that's another thing that we don't want to throw into the mix with the variety show as well. Because you have certain people that are like, you get to that point in the show, you start talking sports and they're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
No. And then you see numbers fluctuate. People aren't enjoying them. I want people coming back.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll try to do it.
Which is not why you invited me, but everybody turned off. They're like, this guy again.
All right, listen, man. If people have watched the other episodes with you, they're going to tune in again.
Okay.
I'm a
you're
first
full of wisdom
timer.
and knowledge.
I'm excited for this. This is my first time with you, so I can't wait.
It's very true.
I tell you what, man, it's gonna be a joy. You're gonna love it. It's so much fun talking to Derek.
Yeah. It's been fun the last couple times for sure. So, I really quick. Did you say with you? Is that
With you?
yeah?
What? Yeah. What?
Is that's like a country thing or East
Maybe.
Coast?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, I just picked up on the nuance there. So
My bad.
That's cool.
I don't have much of an accent, but I say some funny words
me
sometimes.
too. Yeah. I picked up some because I was like small country town where I grew up at. So I do y'all, and then I lived in Texas, so I really leaned into stuff like that even more. And it's like it pulled it out of me, and so
I'm in PA and I say y'all all the time.
You do say that a lot.
All the time.
The one that I added more to was all y'all, and
Oh yeah.
you feel more
Where-
Texas, especially when you say it in Houston. But it's
So Derek, where are you actually?
I am in Litchfield Park, Arizona.
Oh wow.
We've been here. It's just the Phoenix area is just growing just at insane rates. So this area we lived in Goodyear before. It was like 30,000 people, and I think they're well over 100,000 people now. It's just growing like crazy, man.
Lord.
Yeah, the market here it's keeping house prices up. It's keeping everything expensive, and thankfully wages are keeping up pace. Said literally nobody ever. So yeah, it's
getting super easy to get by, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
absolutely splendid.
yeah. So it's
Fantastic.
I'm back to working 12-hour nights, and it's
Oh,
you know,
really?
the
I was Alex said that's too people-y for me.
yeah,
I was gonna ask you about your
Valley area
work.
now. I think we're approaching because it's like Scottsdale, Glendale. There's all these like suburb, like little cities
Yeah.
within the valley, and I think we're approaching like 3 million people, and it's just too much, man. Just too much.
I can't. Like, I'm a small town guy. I could never live in a city.
Yeah.
Bless the people that can. I mean, to each their own. It takes all types to make the world go around. I get it, but I like living in the sticks. It's so
I
much
prefer it.
calmer.
I prefer it. It's the girls like their school here. I was looking for a job in Spanish Fork, Utah. Still haven't heard back on that, but that's like 40,000 people. It's very, for lack of leaning into the cliche, it's very small town America. All the
Yeah.
neighbors know each other. We got to spend about a week there with my friend, and it was just walking the neighborhood. You don't know any strangers. Everybody's just, they put in a communal fund. Like everybody chipped in through a Venmo or something, and then somebody ran and got a bunch of fireworks, and I was like, and then they shot them off in their neighborhood. I'm like, this is so cool. Like it's just, you don't get that here. You get the neighbors that pop them off till 3 a.m. and they just piss you off, and you got to call HOA. And
Oh my God. Forget places like that. I hate the developments. I hate the communities. I could never live with an HOA.
Yeah.
My sister's in one of those right now, and she can't wait to get out. I mean, it's absolutely absurd. To be fair,
Yeah.
I did warn her.
Yeah.
I did warn her.
No,
I said,
it's,
you really don't want to do that.
Yeah, like you leave your trash cans out for an hour longer than they're supposed to be, and they're just going to tack $100 onto your next rent payment, and you're like, this is so sick. I get no say. Like this is certainly what people fight for, right?
Yeah.
So you can get $200 when you have weeds that are too tall in your front yard. Crazy.
Yeah. What does that money go to in one of those places too? Like, what do they use it for?
So I wish I could say that it's some of the neighborhoods here, the newer ones, have like awesome rec centers with pools and TVs and barbecue grills. Our neighborhood has parks with yellow grass. Like I don't know, and they're always dirty. Like,
perfect.
There's just graffiti everywhere, and I'm like, this is glad my weeds grew too tall for this. So
Yeah.
Is it like
should
12
tell them.
inches in your lawn? You're supposed to go for 12 inches.
I wish I could say that there was something policy-wise that said precisely how long too long is, but it seems to be entirely subjective, so they can bankroll whatever projects. So they're the owner or the HOA president can drive a Mercedes, I guess. I'm not sure.
That's exactly what it is, man. That's supposed to go back to improve your roads and, like you said, community centers. The last HOA I worked for, that's where the fines and stuff would go into the coffers for roads improvement and things like that, but it never did.
No, you can park a Honda Civic in some of our potholes, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
How in the now I know how we get potholes up here in Pennsylvania. We've got some of the biggest in the country. How do you get potholes down in Arizona? Like, we get it because of the salt on the road, terrible conditions, all the snow plows. What happens in Arizona that it's killing your roads?
Yeah, great question. We, specific to Litchfield Park, we have a rock quarry literally right across El Mirage, which is the main street. And a lot of those times the trucks will take back roads so they don't have to mess with the traffic, because there's 3 lights over the span of like a quarter mile. It's stupid. And so rather than hang up on those big trucks with, 50,000 pounds will bumble down your street. And so, yeah, it chews up curbs, it chews up the road. And
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Ridiculous.
mainly just heavy equipment with rocks and otherwise that try and snake through our neighborhood so they don't have to wait in line like everybody else.
So Jeff in chat got all excited when you said Utah, and that's where
Yeah,
he
you
is
did.
from. And
All caps, man.
and Jeff also happens to be the other Jared. That's Jared's twin right there. So that's where they hail from.
Oh, okay. What city? So,
I'm not.
I was gonna say we're from Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, looked at a couple jobs there as well. Really like Salt Lake, Spanish Fork area.
yeah, Spanish
Salt Lake
Fork
is where my
nice.
dad lived last, and so I got to spend some time there. And hard not to fall in love with that city too.
It's
beautiful,
nice.
man.
I'm going back here shortly, but yeah, it's not a bad place. I've been out here in Virginia though for like the last 13, 14 years.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Utah is where we're from. I've grown to hate it. I call Virginia my home now. So
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, you've been there long enough. It works.
Back to the
Utah
cave.
It was crazy. It was so like in Arizona, it was 1:15 on the 4th of July. It was like 87. And then we drove up to Payson Lake, and it's like you were driving into a different season. So by the time we got to the peak of the elevation, which is sub 10,000, like it was like 65 degrees. I'm like, it's like literally like you drove from spring into winter. And then in Arizona, people are melting on the sidewalk when they go to check their mail.
I think it's wild how that works with the elevation and the quick temperature change like that. I mean, up here, man, it's been about 90 for weeks with like 80% humidity.
Yeah.
So like it's like you walk outside, you get punched in the face, you can't breathe. It's terrible. Like I almost would rather take 100 degrees and like 5% humidity.
Here's what I've learned, okay? Because I've been in hot and humid when I was in Houston. Everybody told me I'd acclimate. So it's like 101, but 90% humidity. That's the most demoralizing heat I've ever experienced. This is like when you open the oven when it's set to 400, like say you're baking the turkey on Thanksgiving and you pull that open, you're just like, like that.
Yep.
So when you get over like 105, and so I think we broke the record this year, consecutive days over 110, which was just stupid. Like it's proof to me that God's like, man should not inhabit the desert, but we do it anyways. But it's just, I think the worst we got was 117 this year. And it's just,
God.
Once you get into that range, I hate to say it, but I'd actually take the humidity because it's just, and the thing about the dry heat too, is you can be outside working in it and you don't realize it. And then 2 hours in, you're just like, central nervous system starts to shut down.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Like,
Well, I was going to say, man, how do you work outside in that kind of heat, man? Like in that, like 115 degrees, sun beating down on you. How are people not like having their skin melt off of their bodies right now?
It's a trip. You have to dress the same way you would for a colder winter. So it's like long sleeve shirt, full pant, like because any exposure to the sun and you're going to be done for. You just don't stand a chance.
I don't think I'd be able to walk. I'd be chafing like a mofo. There ain't no way.
I mean, I'm a big dude, so like I struggle. If I can go from one air conditioned thing to another, so like my car to an office, that's the only way to get it done.
That'd be primo.
Humidity after the rain is the worst. Oh yeah, so during monsoon season, so July is when we get the most rain because that heat just extracts any moisture from the land and then it just dumps it back on top of us. And the other thing that's stupid too is like if the sun is down, bro, we can scale back, right? Like it was 104. I was working last night. It was 104 at midnight dude. It's like the sun's been down for 6 hours. Why? It just seems unfair. So
I've always been told that it gets cold in the desert at night.
no,
What happened?
not in the valley, man. We just, you know, there's a 15-degree variance between the hottest part of the day and then coolest part of the morning. And there's like 3 months of that where your AC just runs basically around the clock.
Yeah, I would die.
I've seen like $600 and $700 electric bills. So
I keep saying that I wouldn't mind moving down to like Tennessee or something because I think Tennessee's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I told Alex, I'm like, I could definitely get used to the heat down there. I'd be all right with it, I think. But the more I hear about this kind of stuff, the more I'm like, all right, maybe snow's not so bad. Maybe I'm all right with it. I mean, I'm really not because we get it 5 months out of the year, 5-6 months out of the year. It's ridiculous, but whatever.
I feel like I get more weather sensitive the older I get too.
Yeah.
So it's like I have this proclivity to want more cold. This heat, it's just like the closer to 40 I get, I'm just like, no, dude, no, nope. People aren't built for this. This is not how people are meant to live. So
Jeff wants to know if don't you all get tarantulas during monsoon season?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've got some creepy crawlies. We're kind of like, don't come to Florida. I've been to Florida before, Allison, and we went during the summer and geez, it's just balmy air. Like, you know, it's like air you could actually reach out and grab. It's so dense. Ugh. I'd rather have the heat than shovel snow. But what was the other question? I'm sorry. I responded to Allison. I believe it was
the tarantulas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do. We sure do. We get kind of like Australia. We've got, you know, some pretty gnarly scorpions, tarantulas. We've got Gila monsters, which are like poisonous lizards that have the bite force of like a small shark. And once they latch on, they don't let go. Got some pretty gnarly spiders and stuff too. So yeah, it's fun.
Arizona sounds great.
yeah, dude. It's like Australia 2.0. Allison, do you live in Arizona? Because she mentioned the monsoon rain too. I'm assuming she does.
She lives in Florida.
Oh, Florida. Oh yeah. Okay.
Jeff was the one that mentioned the monsoon.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we did. We were smart enough to do Florida in July, which was nice. Like you have every intention of starting the day. You get your shower, and then the second you crack the door and you feel that 95% humidity and it's 98 degrees, you're just like, you know, I guess I could cancel the whole day. Oh, you lived in Prescott. So Jeff saw what I consider the prettier part of Arizona. It's a little further north. Like a lot of the homes, at least for the friends I had between Prescott and Flagstaff, they don't even have AC units on them. People put like box fans in their windows because it's so nice. Like that's really crazy. Yeah, it's green. There's pine. Like it's northern Arizona's, but it's also
bad.
Crazy freaking expensive.
Well, that is bad.
Yeah. They know what they have. They really do. They're like, oh, it's the desert, but we have snow and mountains. And so, yeah, it's
screw those guys.
Yeah.
They suck.
Snobs.
Yeah, they're terrible.
You're no better than us. Okay. Us heat dwellers.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you where you're at with your content creation. I've been watching for a while. On Facebook, you're doing your tests for your equipment. You're always trying to get things right, make sure things are working. I see you building. Do you have any plans to I don't know, start the podcast up that you were talking about, or do you have something else in mind that you want to do? What's the direction here? Because I can't wait. Like I'm sitting here with bated breath.
Yeah, yeah, me too. A lot of the time, it's I ebb and flow with that quite a bit. So most recently I've been talking to, I guess we'll just get into the weeds of it. I've recently had some couple health scares, kind of scares / concerns. And my current employer, I don't have insurance. It's not something that they provide. So I am working with a nurse practitioner who happens to be my lifelong best friend. He went on to become a nurse and then nurse prac. And so I want to document, I'm going to be being put on a GLP-1. And I know these are super controversial, you know, the Manjaro and the Ozempic. This is from a compound pharmacy, actually, that's out of Florida. But I'm actually using it as a diabetes medicine,
Hmm.
but one of the benefits is I lose weight also. My A1C was pretty bad, like almost lost a digit. So I full disclosure, I'm type 2 diabetic, but just not treated for it because I don't have insurance, and insulin OTC is outlandish. Like
Yeah.
it's really bad. So been dealing with some of the offset of that, and it'll rattle you. It's having to go in, and they had to take my whole. Sorry, this is too gross, but they took my whole toenail off my big toe, and the lady's like, if you would have let this keep going, you'd have been 9 toes down on stuff. So it's
Yeah.
just a couple things that rattled me. Joe is excited to be here. Can I say hey
Joe and
back?
Allie are
podcast?
awesome. Yeah. Dude, loud.
Just send it. Anybody
Send
wearing
it.
headphones is gonna have a bad time. No, but it's cool to see that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm hoping to document that. My buddy, my nurse prac buddy, he's been really cool. Like, he's like, if you wanted to ever do anything informative, talking to people, because he's a proponent for intervention, when it comes to health stuff like that. But he feels a lot of the Ozempic and the Manjaro and a lot of that stuff has been, people are being more influenced than making a decision where they're informed, and consequently, they run out of it. It makes it harder for people that actually have diabetes to get. And so yeah, I'll be working with him and hopefully trying to get some of this weight off, which has always been kind of the take I wanted to do with like vlogging and content creation anyways. At least that's where I started. So I'm hopeful. It's something that he and I have talked about. I've helped do some graphics and animation stuff for him, and in exchange, I won't discuss prices in case anybody's interested, but he's really, I'll put it this way. Because insurance wouldn't cover a lot of those things anyways, but it wouldn't have been possible if he didn't just happen to be my lifelong best friend and was essentially giving me his price for these meds. So
Insane.
Yeah. So to answer your question, yes, we love it, and we love Corey with everything we have. That's awesome, man.
Joe and Allie are awesome people. We love them.
So is this the same Allie that was also commenting?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Keep it up, man. As a creator myself, people that stick it out and kind of those ride or die people are invaluable. So yeah, that's awesome. So that's the hope. That's the eventual goal. I hate that it took a bit of a health scare to kind of rattle the old bones, but that's where we are.
Yeah, sometimes we just need that swift kick in the ass. Hopefully it comes sooner rather than later. In regards to our health.
Yeah.
I think I was just talking to these guys before you got in the pre-show. I was like, God, yeah, maybe I really should start taking care of myself a little bit better, because I'm seeing more and more people my age coming down with serious health issues. They're starting to battle cancer and leukemia and everything else like that, like the real scary stuff. And I'm like, man, maybe I do need to start paying attention to my body a little bit more. Go see the doctor a little bit more.
Proactive versus reactive would be certainly be advantageous, because it's once you get behind the 8 ball of something like a serious diagnosis, if it takes you out of work, and like the more I think about it, it's just like I can't afford to get really sick with something. Like I really can't. So
isn't that crazy that that's our line of thinking? Like I've thought the same thing.
Right.
Like
as
that's
opposed
why
to
I don't go.
health or staving off long-term sicknesses. It's just like, well, I'm more motivated because it's like, well, my wife would have a really hard time paying the bills. So it's like, as opposed to like, I should want to do this for myself. Yeah, it's interesting.
So how's work going with you, man? Like I know you just said that where you work now they don't carry insurance, so I'm assuming that you're looking for something different. I did see a little bit about that.
Yeah.
How's that search going?
So the search in Arizona is it is what it is. I'd applied for a couple jobs in Utah. When we were there, my buddy's like, hey, my company's hiring, you should apply, kind of like haphazardly and joking. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I did, and the guy's like, sweet, let's get you an interview. And I was like, oh, and which led to a second interview, and haven't heard anything back, but that was just Monday of this last week. So I'm hopeful, man. I'm hopeful. It's a sales gig, be a really good paying job. Obviously, topside on commissions can be. It has the potential to be life-changing money for my family if it comes through and I can execute. So
that would be incredible, man. I'll send a couple prayers up for you, brother.
I appreciate you, my man.
All right, so since Aaron didn't get to chat with you before, he doesn't know a whole lot about your history, your background, or any of the stories that you shared with us here before. So, Aaron, just so you're aware, that outro music that we play at the end of the variety show, that was done by this guy right here for us.
That you did tell me.
So that's a part of, actually, that's a really good song too. It's called Meant for More. It's by Kid Picked Last, which is this guy.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to have you listen to the entire song. I don't know if I made you listen to the whole song before.
No.
But we did have Derek telling us one time about a time that he got to play a really cool gig. Warped Tour.
The Vans Warped Tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a part of a band that got to play on Warped Tour.
Which probably just wild coincidence. It was this day 8 years ago.
No shit.
No way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had the memories pop up from Facebook, and I posted a picture of my at the time 8 years younger daughters. They were both rocked our merch and like handed out our CDs, and it was a scorcher. It was like, I think it was like 112 that day. But yeah, it's cool to go back and reflect on that. And a couple people uploaded videos, and I watched through those. So but yeah, I think to the date, it's been 8 years.
That's awesome.
And again, I know we've told the story on this show before, but that's way back when, what can you tell us about how that ended up happening? I think it's an interesting story as to how you guys ended up getting a shot at playing on that Warped Tour.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had the band was called Safe So Simple. All of our music's still on any streaming platforms if anybody is interested to check it out. But we were from a very small town, and we just grinded, man. We every year for like the last 10 years of Warped Tour's run would do a local stage. Well, this year in particular, and 2017 ended up being the last Warped Tour. So the fact that one, we were able to get it in, and two, my daughters were able to be there was just crazy to me. But they did. Yeah, thanks, Joe. It was super cool, man. So they would do basically a fan voting. So, for every IP address, you could go on and cast one vote a day. And at that time, we'd built a lot of momentum in our local scene and had established a pretty decent name for ourselves. And so it's like, you go on and you vote. But at the same time, we were up against a couple bands, even in the Valley, that had like labels behind them, so it's like, it was really like a Cinderella story. We were just kind of the underdogs, and we just kept pushing. And again, not too dissimilar from, the people that come on here and rally for you guys. We had a good network of that. And, I'd have people sending me pictures, like they're on their phone and their girlfriend's phone, taking a photo with their mom's phone, like doing their daily votes. It's like, oh man, thank you so much. And, that year in particular, it was for one of the main stages. And so we got picked, and we ended up like trouncing one of the other who we thought was going to get it for sure, because they're label backed. And it's like, you don't want to buy into the politics of, it's not who it's who that whole kind of thinking. And it's like, oh, they're a shoe-in. We're not going to get it. And we got it, man. And that one for me was a dream come true. My first concert ever was Warped Tour 98. My sister took me to it. And I always tell people, just to kind of age that timeline, this is when Travis Barker had just left the Aquabats and played his first set with Blink-182. And they actually booed Blink, because all the Aquabat fans with like their wrestling masks and their purple capes were just absolutely booing him. And I'm like, what's happening? And now Travis Barker's the biggest name in the industry by far in the drum world. So that's within pop punk specifically, but it was crazy, man. We got to play and play that main stage. there was like a left foot stage and a right foot stage, and we played the same stage as like Newfound Glory and some of my favorite bands, and it was wild, man. It was absolutely wild.
It's awesome just to see how you're still like living in that moment when you're talking about it. You can tell how passionate you are about that. That's pretty cool for you, man.
Yeah.
great.
Reconnecting with it today, especially if I seem especially hyped or nostalgic, it's because that just registered. And then Allie and Joe, right after that, that's when we went to Florida. So we did the Warped Tour. It was like terribly hot in Arizona. We drove straight to Florida to record with one of our favorite producers, and it's like, man, it doesn't get worse than this heat. And then we drove to Florida. We're like, wait, it does. So yeah,
mid story there, I started to really think about this, and I started to realize how similar you two actually are, because Aaron is a big music fan.
okay.
This is something he always wanted. He thought he was going to end up being a music teacher when he was younger. This is why I tried to get him out there to do the national anthem as well.
Yeah.
And this man is in law enforcement. So while Derek is not a police officer, Aaron, Derek is a security officer. So you're both kind of in the same realm there.
Yeah.
You both like music.
That's awesome.
You both hand out the law. Lay
it down, baby.
if you need to.
What do you mean by that?
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. A lot of parallels.
Music to me is just a place to go and relax. That's I don't want to say my safe place.
Yeah.
But it's the one place I've always been able to just go and sit and get lost in there and come back. And, people don't realize what you mean by you're passionate about your music, because people that just don't understand it. But you can actually feel a lot of stuff with that. And it just, to me, is a great thing. I've never really lost it altogether. I was going to be a music teacher, and then I just decided, no, I'm going to throw a drumstick at a fifth grader's head or something, and I'm just not going to be able to do this, so I still enjoy it. And it's funny, Corey, I don't think I ever told you a story about how I got my first piano.
No.
So I was at church with my mom and my dad when he was alive, and I was sitting, they were talking about pianos, and I said to my mom, I said, listen, when you get rich, you're going to buy me a piano. I want a piano. She goes, okay. Same day, drove home on Fair Avenue. There's a sign on this piano. It says free, right by where Mark lives.
Yeah.
And I got out, and I'm like, there's no way. So I got out, opened the top of it up, and I'm right on Route 191, playing with the keys. There's one that wasn't striking. And I said, how the hell am I going to get this thing home? I started pushing it. And you know how far I live away from Mark's place. Start pushing it. And I ended up, one of my friends came with his pickup. And we actually got this piano that you saw, the one that's in my dining room.
Yeah.
Two of us picked that up and put that in a pickup truck and drove it home.
Oh, that's good news.
The same day. I was
God.
that determined to have this thing in my house.
Wow.
That we just, whatever, we got it up in the truck. He backed it right up to my porch and we wheeled it right off. But I called my mom. I said, you're never going to believe this. And she goes, what? I said, got a piano. She goes, from where? It's on the side of the road. It said free. She goes, Aaron, we were sitting there at church and I prayed for you to get a piano.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, it worked.
Yeah.
And
That's unreal.
Yep. It's an 1878 Hallett and Davis from Boston, Massachusetts. It works great. But
You
I just
did
got
that
to
with
replace a
two
few things.
people?
Two people in the back of a Chevy Avalanche.
That's like a 4-man minimum.
Dude,
Those whole pianos are no
I was
joke, dude.
so determined and pissed off because I couldn't get it up in the air.
Yeah.
We got it just enough, the front end up onto the bed of the truck. And he's like, Nick is Turkish. He's like, there's no way we're getting this in the truck. I said, watch this. And I backed up to it and I just started picking up. And he's like, holy shit, man. And he grabbed it and pushed it up the rest of the way. I said, Nick, I told you it's coming home.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving this here. And
And you
we
still
got
have
it.
that one to this day?
It's in my dining room. Corey was at the house yesterday. It's
Wow.
It's sitting there in my dining room. I play that thing hours on end. I love it.
That's incredible, man. What a cool story.
I would have loved to see that happen. I would have loved to see you guys lifting that up.
Dude, anybody. And you know what the thing is? I just thought about this as you said that. People driving by, no one stopped to say, hey, do you need a hand? It was just pure willpower to get this thing up. Maybe they thought we were stealing it. I don't know, but but I was just happy that the thing worked. So yeah, we got this damn thing up in the truck and away we went. And it's been in my
I'm
house
pretty
ever
sure
since.
that's like a World's Strongest Man event, like piano in
Yeah.
the back of an avalanche. I'm
Dude,
pretty
it's
because that's
If not,
heavy.
it should be. It should be on there, man. Forget the boulder thing.
because
I-
that's a feat, man. I'm not kidding you. That is
we
something.
we realized it once we sat down and I gave him a beer. They were like, our backs are probably gonna kill us tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I gave him $50. I said, bro, I can't thank you enough because this thing had to be in my
Man.
house. Yep.
The fact that you still have it is so cool too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good. I love it.
So
and that it was an answer to a prayer, like the immediacy at which
Yeah.
that happened. That's really cool.
That's what my mom said. I was like, listen, I said, I don't think you really prayed for me to get a piano. She goes, Aaron, I swear to God. I'm like, okay, well, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But it just was there. I was like, stop the car.
you're the one that won the prayer lotto that day,
Yeah, dude. I was lucky. So
man.
gotta
So,
stop. looking at
Cool
chat.
news. Cool news. Jared is always working hard in the background. I know I told you guys, you should really listen to the song because it's fantastic, but Jared's already got it for us. So if we want to take a minute to listen to this song, guys, check it out. And then make sure you go follow Kid Pick Last over on YouTube. Do that for our guy, Derek.
I will build a castle right on the grave of what you never created. You'll be caught daydreaming while I'm still pushing on. I bet you're frustrated. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're no more human than a tornado plastic. I'm better off without the deceit that you've been spreading. No more looking behind me, only to the horizon. Giving up, it's just a thing of the past. I'm saying goodbye to going nowhere fast. Yeah, I bet you didn't think I had it in me. I'm destined to do things I swear that you wouldn't believe. 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 Go away. Get rid of yourself, 'cause I don't care if I never see you again. Now I know that this is what I was going to do. You may have doubt in your backswing, but you like to follow through. Giving up, it's just a thing of the past. I'm saying goodbye to going nowhere fast. Yeah, I bet you didn't think I had it in me. I'm destined to do things I swear that you wouldn't believe. 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 You wouldn't believe.
I had zero clue that was an actual song. I just
Yes.
thought it was an intro that you created for these guys. I had no idea that was
Well,
an
I did
actual
the
song.
intro too, right?
Yes. So the actual intro music we use is what he made for us. The outro that you hear is what Justin and I used before he made this one. So I took when we started using it, we took the first 20 seconds of it, that opening riff, and used that as our intro because it's awesome.
That is
So-
so badass.
And just so you know, Derek, that song and the other one that are on Spotify are both in my punk rock playlist.
That's freaking
They're
awesome.
both a part of it. Which,
we
by the
got-
way, guys, go over and find Kid Pick Last over on Spotify as well. Add it to your playlist. It's fantastic.
Got a couple people that put it in there. I'm definitely going to put it in when we get off stream.
Thank you. That's
How many
awesome.
songs did you record, man?
So I did 5. I went to Ohio speaking about weather extremes again, and they had like one of their 5-year blizzards while I was there. Just kind of a fun story. And I was walking, I was carrying my drum, like my stands, and like I had my hands full. And I came from Arizona, so I didn't own anything leather, to stave off the cold and the wind chill factor. So I'm in my Chucks, canvas sided shoes, and it feels like my toes are going to fall off. I've got a hoodie and then like some sweatpants, and I'm just freezing, absolutely freezing, despite the protective layer of blubber also. And so I'm trouncing in with my stuff, and I, again, unbeknownst to me, snow on the grass, not bad. Snow on the sidewalk, yeah. Yep. So I went like in the cartoonish fall ever. I went straight up, like I saw my feet before I hit the ground, and all my drum stuff just falls on top of my face. So yeah, it was a good time though, man. Went and recorded all of that with the exception of one song. I had a buddy, it was like an internet friend turned in real life friend. He was in Ohio visiting his grandma. He's like, "Hey, can I come track some drums? LOL." I'm like, "Yeah, do it." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, come down to the studio. Let's do it." So he, and we've just remained friends since then. So it was cool. It's cool. Really good time.
That's so cool. That is another bucket list item for me, is to record one song at some point in my life, because I just think it would be an awesome experience. I'm trying to get to that point. There's a lot of things that I'm working on sidewise that I don't really tell anybody, but I don't think I'm ever going to be that guy that's going to be able to do big things in this industry. But just to say that I recorded one song would be so cool.
It would be dope.
So I'll tell you right now, there's nothing more tangible as a musician that you can do than to have something recorded of your own. And if I can, I'll dig into that a little bit more. One of our first experiences as Safe So Simple, we were in a Battle of the Bands. It was the first gig we ever played. It was a local Tucson Battle of the Bands. And we had a bunch of 16-year-olds that were like 80s hair metal, but they were just insane. Wyatt and Travis Childress. I'll never forget this. We had it handed to us because we were still very early. It was our first gigs. We were still working on a lot of the kinks, despite being very well rehearsed and practiced. It's still the nuance of taking what you do in your home's practice space to the stage, just different, right? Just a different element. And these kids, by any discernible metric, beat us. We just happened to sell more tickets, so our fans screamed the loudest, which was ultimately the metric that if you advance.
It's okay. It worked.
And in my mind, we get off stage, we win, and one of it was like 3 tracks in the studio, $1,000, drumsticks, guitar picks, like a bunch of cool stuff from local guitar shops and everything else. And I pull the guys in, and we had just booked recording with an engineer buddy of ours. So I'm like, "Guys, we got to give this to these kiddos." And they're like, "What? Like we won this? Like this is free? Like we could save ourselves $1,500 and call it a premonition, call it what you will." But I was like, "No, we got to do right by these young men." So I got it back on stage, and I'm not trying to make it about me, but I was like, "Hey, they were called House Divided." I said, we'll accept all the gifts and everything, and we appreciate that, but we want to give our studio time to House Divided. And even the promoter for the show was like, no, that's not how this works. And I was like, "Fine, just give them everything." And she was just kind of taken back. So they went to the studio and they recorded. And the night of that, young man, Travis, one of the twin brothers that played guitar that just absolutely ripped, was in a fatal car accident, and that recordings they ended up having of him.
Wow.
And
Everything happens for a reason, man.
everything. So I tell you that to tell you, Aaron, if it's ever been a thought of yours,
Just do it.
the legacy of that young man that was lost tragically early. It now lives on through those songs. And
And if it wasn't for you, that would have never happened.
I've done a lot of cool stuff with music. I've reached a lot of my goals, but that is far and away the best thing I've done for music. So if I can lean in a little bit, if you have the time and the resources, I know you said you got going on behind the scenes. like the fact that my daughters sing my lyrics, like it's on their Spotify playlist, they show it to their friends, like it's a legacy of what you care about and what you're passionate about that will live throughout the ages, man.
It's
So
awesome. Good advice, bro.
Yeah. And man, I get what you're saying with the kids thing too, because I might have joked about it earlier about my daughter being my number one fan, but she really is. Most of the shows she should not really listen to. She might hear over her mother's shoulders, but she thinks it's like the coolest thing. And when she's out and about, she wants to give people stickers. She wants to give them business cards. You know, she wants to tell them all about her dad's show. So, I mean, if there's anything out there that makes me feel good about doing this, it's that, man.
same. That, like I said, that's what popped up from my memory was from Warped Tour. We bought a school bus, a decommissioned school bus, and we put bunks in it. And that's when we toured and stuff. That's what we lived in.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there, and I was just sitting across from them. They both had Safe So Simple shirts on. And I was like, man, I gotta immortalize this moment. So I grabbed the picture and made a post about it. And yeah, it was having fans at that level. And it's like, yeah, it could have been anything, you know, it could have been a midget tossing competition. And my daughters are just locked in because they love their dad. But, you know, they were being able to like be up on stage at Warped Tour, you know, at the main stage and look down, and your daughters are just gripping the, you know, the little fence line, the faux fence line they put up, and they're just screaming every word. It's like, man, that's something.
You made it. You made it at that point.
Yeah, so
seriously.
So what instruments do you play, dude?
So for that record in particular, I guess it's more of an EP. I did, with the exception of one track, I did the guitar, the bass, the drums, and the vocals.
Wow.
I can plink at a piano. That was the one thing that I'm grateful my mom, you know, because as a teenager, you know, it's like, Mom, the guys are going to think I'm into dudes if I play piano, you know. So, but
there's such a
the
stigma
fundamentals
about
there,
that.
you know, finger dexterity, learning the notes, learning time signatures, just invaluable. So I'm glad my mom was like, no, you're going to go. And I had like a 90-year-old teacher. So it's like, we have nothing in common, and she's just old. Her house smells like mothballs. And so I'm just like dragging my feet every time, but I'm so grateful. My mom was like, no, you need to stick with it. So yeah, so that's little piano. And then outside of that, I played saxophone and clarinet throughout middle school and high school. So
Guys, just like me. Shit.
I told you.
I
was thinking about it during his one story.
Started with the clarinet, went to the saxophone, then the piano, the guitar.
Yeah.
I've never learned how to play the bass. I can't play the drums to save my life because I can play the piano, and they usually say most piano players can play the drums.
Yeah.
But I just can't tell my body to do different things at the same time with a drumstick in my hand.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
I've
got
tried.
something about the like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But to go back to your comment about the guy playing the piano, there's such a stigma about that. It's like, oh, it's a different sexual orientation because you play the piano. That's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
Yeah. It's like Elton John became famous and Freddie Mercury, and now it's only synonymous to dudes that want to blow each other, I guess. I don't know how that ended up.
You put it more eloquently than I could have. Corey, we got to get him to record some riffs for our Christmas album we're going to put out.
We can try.
Maybe he could record a variation of Jingle Bells that we have to sing.
There we go.
We're going to do a Christmas album. The four of us are going to sing. Well, I don't know. Jared, are you going to sing with us, buddy?
He says, no, he's just shaking his head emphatically. He's like, absolutely not. Yeah. We started talking about this for our Christmas special episode last year. It's already August.
We need to do it.
We don't have anything started, guys. We got to do this.
It's not going to take us long to sing and make asses of ourselves.
But I was just going to insert that the piano is my favorite instrument. I always wished I learned when I was a kid. But like you said, Aaron, that's the one that sounds the most beautiful to me. And that's why Derek, one of my favorite bands ever, is Something Corporate.
Not mad at that.
Just something about that guy and all the projects he works on. Awesome.
So you're into like Jack's Mannequin and some of these other ones then?
Yep. And it's Andrew McMahon, right?
Yeah.
Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. That's his other one that he does. Yeah, I love all of it.
Man.
It's like punk emo rock with piano in it. It sounds awesome. I love it.
He's a brilliant storyteller too through his songs. It's good stuff. I didn't know we had that in common. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one of yours too?
Oh yeah. Dude.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I grew up on that stuff. That stuff was always on.
Corey, are we about the same age?
I'm 38.
Okay,
Yeah.
we are the exact same age, so that
Yeah,
that explains
2000.
it.
Yeah.
Don't
Graduated
do the
in
math.
04. Born in 86. Yeah, I think that's it.
Of course, I'm the
We're
old
not
guy.
carrying
I'm
any
getting-
ones here, Corey. Stop.
I was gonna say I'm getting to that point where my memory's going, so I have to be old. So Brian in chat had mentioned something before, and I thought it was a good question. It was a roundabout kind of question. He just likes to try to throw us off our game with some of the stuff he puts into chat. We got to be sure we don't bring his messages up before reading them.
That's
Lots of fun you are, Brian. Lots of
Brian
fun.
is the only person we have to have Jared proofread before his post.
Jared's earning his money right now.
But he did ask a good question. He asked
Sir.
why the name Kid Picked Last.
Oh.
He asked something about the Kid Picked Last in dodgeball and having 0 legs. I don't know.
I have both legs, Brian, despite what the camera might show you now. I was a portly little boy. My size carried into my adult life. And consequently, when you're the fat kid, they're not in any hurry to get you. Outside of what I ultimately ended up being picked for with my local soccer, like kindergarten and first grade, they don't use the full size, soccer goals. So it was like a 5x5, which essentially was my size at that time. So it's like, hey, put him at goalie. Because outside of that, they like the coaches, even when my mom went to register for me, like not only did they believe I was the age that I was, in fact, they're like, yeah, what do we do? Put him on defense. He's going to be sluggish. So I just occupied the goal space because I was the same size as it. So kids would kick the ball and it would just hit me and they're like, great job, Derek. And so I was in fact the kid that got picked last. So that's where that comes from.
I'm kind of thinking that maybe you needed to hear your song again today too.
Don't do that. Don't make this sentimental, Corey. Don't make
That
it
was awesome.
And
I'm sorry.
Warped
I told
Tour
you.
happened. You did that 8 years ago. I don't need you.
I'm just saying.
Stick to the math about your age, not trying to figure my life out.
I can honestly say that's the first time I've ever listened to the full song with the artist present in front of me.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good. Do you have any other questions for him, Aaron? Do you have anything that you're
Bro, I could
curious
sit
about?
here for 3 hours talking to this
I
guy
know.
music-wise. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. We got to be careful. We got to be careful. And
I'm going to send him a friend request on Facebook. We can
Yeah,
connect, and if I
do
got
it,
questions,
man.
I can do that. This was cool. Like I know Corey said, you're going to enjoy the conversation, but I didn't realize the common interests that are there. It's pretty awesome.
Some fascinating parallels, to say the least.
No doubt. No doubt.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Jared with his shit in the background.
You want to do karate in the garage, Aaron?
hell yeah.
Touch my
Absolutely.
drum set. But
And like I said, Derek, I mean, you're always welcome to come back on.
I
mean,
appreciate that.
you're the first 1 to 3 episodes.
Man.
So anytime you want to come back on, you could just keep increasing that record. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if
We're
we ever talked about it, but there was a point, Aaron, where I was, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this on air, but you had invited me to be like third chair at one point.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and yeah, I just probably should have taken you up on that. Probably would have given me some momentum, but
No, then I would not be here, sir.
oh yeah, I would have bumped there. You already filled your
Yeah, that was a while. That was a while before we added Aaron. Yeah.
so you got your
So
you know
close.
safety, security, musician. That's it's already filled. I can't be the bizarro world Aaron. I can't. So
I'm just
Brian said, not true. The fat kid was always the front line. Maybe at lunchtime, but not for soccer.
do not.
God.
Okay, so Derek, I'm going to tell you, don't read Brian's comments out loud
Oh, okay.
because it's gonna get you once, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I shouldn't have fucking."
No,
said
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do
thank
that.
you.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
that." Jared's on point tonight.
I'll let Jared earn his shekels, and I'll stop reading. Let me toggle back over to our chat just so because I read a
Yeah.
couple of them like passing out condoms at the shows. And
So I've learned I distract Corey quite a bit because I can't stop looking at that chat.
yeah,
And I'll laugh, and Corey's watching me laugh, and he'll stop me. What are you laughing at? So now
what-
I just
what
have
did I
the
do?
private chat up. Yeah,
Oh God, he hit the wrong button.
he left us. My man left us.
Oh
Come
no,
back.
Derek. I mean, we were
There he is.
we were
There he is.
closing out the show.
Bring him back.
sorry.
This
These
felt like
banana
Jack in
hands.
the
I clicked
Titanic.
the wrong thing. Sorry.
He left
right.
us.
we had a couple weeks in a row where I just got completely booted out of the studio.
Yeah, that
So,
was weird.
I was like 2 weeks in a row, just gone. Then the other week that was tagged on to those weeks was a thunderstorm, and all of us kept getting kicked.
Oh
And
man,
Jared's sitting there like, "What the hell is going on?"
We had a guest on, and Jared actually had to come out of the cave
Yeah,
and carry the show for 5 minutes until we all got our interconnections back. And we were so proud of him. He's like, yo,
tell you
God,
what.
there it is.
It was so awkward. I'm like, so I don't know the first thing about wrestling. So
yeah,
That was the night Justin was here. So
yeah. That's why he wasn't left up on screen. Yep.
jeez.
yeah, but Derek, I'll reach out because I'll send you some of the stuff that I like. I think around at mom's church and stuff, and
Please
I
do,
record
man.
things on this cell phone. So I'll send you some stuff that I've done just to kind of, let you hear it and tell me what you think. But I'm working on a few things on my own just to kind of start putting my toe back in the water.
Ooh, collab.
Man,
That'd be
between
sick,
that
dude.
and then putting yourself out there to sing the national anthem, that's kudos, man. Because I know it's, even for me, it's, when you're in it and you've got some momentum, and then on top of that, being in a band, I had some other guys that it's like, even if I wasn't motivated for me, it's like, nah, I gotta churn for these guys. But that's huge, man. You're
It's
definitely
cool.
making the right steps, and I couldn't. I know it might not mean much from, stranger from 5 minutes ago, but I couldn't be more proud of you. And if I can encourage you too, man, if you get the chance to get to the studio, sit down and make it happen.
It's definitely something I'm going to do. I have something that I wrote years ago.
Yeah.
I just have to get the right music, the right sound to it per se.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to do that because, like I told Corey, the first time we did this, we attempted to do our baseball game. The national anthem thing kind of came like on a whim.
Mhm.
We were talking in the stadium to the Mike Harvey, who's now I consider a friend. He's a really good
Yeah.
dude. But we're like, as we're leaving, like, hey, if there's anything else we can do for you, just let us know. And Corey we were joking the one night and it said, maybe I should just sing the national anthem. Or Corey said, I don't know how it all transpired.
I said, "Oh, I wonder if we can get you to sing it."
Yeah.
And
I'm
you
like, yeah,
said,
I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I was full of shit. But
He
Corey
thought he was
emailed
joking.
him. Right. I was kidding. Corey emailed him. He's like, oh, by the way, you're singing. So the first time we went, it got rained out. And I was like nervous, but I was disappointed.
Yeah.
And as Corey and I were walking out of the stadium, I said, I was really nervous, but this is definitely something I want to do now. So let's make this work. So we actually worked the schedule for the game around that and Justin's work schedule so we could be up there. And I think you might have heard us pre-show, but I was a little nervous. And then having them, I thought for sure I was going to be staring at the flag.
Yeah.
I was staring at these people, and
you had to face the audience. Oh.
yeah. And to me, it was like I should be looking at the flag. That's what I should be doing with everybody else looking the other direction.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 out of 100 staring the opposite way, and I understood it, but I was just like that kind of aggravated me a little bit. And the hard cam was up there, and I got everybody with their cell phone cameras on, and I'm like, man. Oh, Jared's got the video pulled up. I think he's going to play it again.
That's not dipping your toe. That's jumping into the deep end, full cannonball.
Jump. Yeah, dude, it was full send.
Are we going to watch
Jared,
it right now?
you gonna
We
play this,
can.
Jared? Go ahead.
I apologize for singing in the background.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars
It's Corey singing duet with me.
perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare,
This is where I gave
the
up.
bombs
cannot keep up with
bursting
him.
in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
O'er the land of the free
There he is.
and the home of the.
Man.
I didn't start getting comfortable till about halfway through, and I
Yeah.
just said, "Fuck it, let's go, kid."
Yeah.
Because I just
yeah.
was nervous, and it's not an experience I can ever explain to anybody. You have to do it. But as much as I practiced up until the time that came up, I was like, got this. I'm good to go. I did it a couple times in the morning, and then you get out there and it's like, fuck, this is actually happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just gotta have fun with it.
Yep,
Mixing
that's
the
it.
two things you love, baby, music and baseball. That's what I
Oh,
told
yeah.
you.
My two favorite
hate it.
things in this world. Absolutely.
Well, I will say, despite the nerves, and I was listening keenly as a new friend, but also as a musician. I don't know if you like pitched yourself in, but you maintained
low.
throughout. So
I was too low, but I did pitch myself in.
you might have
But
started too low, but
I
you
started too
stayed
low.
within the same key, which is
100%.
not easy to do without a
No.
backing track
No.
at all. So that was great, man. That was
Thanks. I
great.
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, he sent that free, man. Got goosebumps during that part. On the Aaron out here doing it. America, that's right, dude.
America. Love it.
Brian said you pinched something.
Yeah, just fucking Brian. So I'll tell you a secret how I got the pitch to that. So where I originally wanted to start, I had the lead senior year of high school for Curly in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So the original starting note that I would start was the opening song was "Oh What a Beautiful Morning,"
Right.
and that was right in my wheelhouse. So instead of "Oh What a Beautiful Morning," "Oh Say Can You See,"
Yeah.
and that was around where I tried to keep it. And unfortunately, when I started, I knew I couldn't really hear myself, and I was trying to hum it in my head. There was so much going on that field. So I guessed that I was just like about a half a step too low, but it was otherwise, I kept with it and just went.
It's definitely in your range. I think if you would have taken a full diaphragm, but again, you were nervous, right? You're pushing
No
out
shit.
the first note
No
on
shit.
top of nerves.
Yep.
But if you hit that full diaphragm, that note's
Done.
there, dude. Yeah.
Yep.
And
It was
I'm not
there.
going to be overly critical of that because the first note, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you got to get over the hurdle there first. But
Yep. I was mentally
start
prepared to
there
look the
and
other
then
way.
Stay in key throughout. It's not easy to do, man. When you see the people that absolutely murder it, what you don't realize is like how rehearsed that is. Because to start there and then end in key it is so much harder than people realize. It really
Especially
is.
with the sound echoing behind you.
Exactly.
Try to filter that out and not pay attention to that. That was
Yeah.
tough. But
Yeah, the pros
Man.
use in-ears, so they're not getting that bounce back sound. So it's
bingo.
yeah, it's tough.
Listening to you guys talk, man. Like, you know what I would do? I'd walk up, grab the mic, and just start singing. I got
And then-
no clue.
Corey and I were joking too, because I had a beer. I had to have some liquid courage, but I was gonna have another one. He's like, "You're gonna be like the chick at the home run derby, and you're gonna be in
Oh
rehab
my
tomorrow."
Let's not do that.
And I will say this, Corey, I
Stay away
didn't do
from
as
it.
bad as her, so it's a win.
You did great.
You did awesome, man.
You did great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're at that point of the night. Derek, I would love to have you back on as often
Yeah.
as you'd like to come on and hang out with us. I hope you get your own stuff up and running because, again, I'm waiting with bated breath. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see your stuff. I always love to listen to you, to talk with you. It's always a pleasure. I love having you on the show. I love watching your own content. So thank you again for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it, man.
Pleasure was all mine.
Yeah, dude's awesome. I got an idea we can talk about backstage when we're done.
Let's run it.
All right. Again, everybody else who has tuned in tonight, thank you so much for checking out another episode of NDT Podcast. We're so excited that you came and hung out with us. And what do we got coming up? We got Wednesday. Wednesday is the wrestling show. It's going to be a recap for SummerSlam. It's going to be fantastic. You guys are going to love it. As always, Friday night is going to be the gaming show. Unsure of the topic yet, but stay tuned on Facebook to hear what is coming up. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, later.
Later.